Need for Speed Most Wanted U. I'm pretty excited to talk about this game because I've played the original game back when it was still new. Well, I guess the real reason is because ever since my Tekken video, I still get bugged by comments saying, well, you should have played the first games in the series before you played this one. Well, for Most Wanted, I have. So let's talk about the original Need for Speed Most Wanted.
I really enjoyed the original Most Wanted. It was released in 2005 on all three major consoles. I got the GameCube version, obviously. The story was good. You played as a nameless, faceless street racer who comes to Rockport to become the most wanted driver. In a series of events, you lose your car in a race and go to jail. Then a hot chick named Mia, by the way, I don't care what the rating says, this game is rated T because of all this. Getting back to the plot, Mia busts you out of jail and you start from square one and must become the most wanted driver and get your car back. Simple but compelling. The gameplay was also great. The races and events were fun, but I had the most fun driving around in the open world and getting into crazy police chases and destroying a whole bunch of stuff in the process. There's probably some problems with it that I'm forgetting about, but in the end, Need for Speed Most Wanted 2005 version is some good stuff. Now let's see what happened in 7 years. Or 8 for the Wii U. Well, right away they ditched the story. All there is a voiceover explaining that there are the most wanted drivers and you gotta take them down to become the new most wanted driver. That is pretty much the plot of the original game, but I preferred having cutscenes and characters you interacted with, and, well, an actual story. This newer version does have cutscenes, and they look amazing, but they are pretty much just cars driving, drifting, and doing other cool stuff you can do with cars. On the plus side of not having a real story, it did get me into the open world sooner. As I said, the plot is pretty much the same for both games, and the rest of the game as well. You do races and other events to challenge one of the most wanted racers and beat them. You can do other things to become the most wanted driver, like get into police chases, speed by police cameras, and break through security gates. Obviously the graphics are improved being on an HD console and all, and I'm glad everything doesn't have a brown filter over it like in the original. The world itself is a city with a few other locations close by, which helps keep the world fresh. Rather than going to your hideout and choosing races, you go to a map and select your race or event from there. There are typical races which are fun to play, but I have one bone to pick with them, and that is why do I start behind everyone else? You pick a race and it throws you right into it. There is no start line, your engine is going and everyone is already in front of you. I don't get it. Why does the game have to be unfair? The only way to win is to make zero mistakes, and that really took the fun out of them. Well, at least there are also events. For example, in one you just have to escape a huge police chase, and they're pretty fun. Outside the races, you can drive around the world, find new cars, and my favorite, get into more police chases. Wait, here's another problem. Why does the game stop when I crash? I know it can be used to let the other racers get ahead or let the police catch up, but they are really annoying. Stopping the game just breaks the flow. Just let me keep playing, and I'll reverse myself out of there. Take a page out of the original game. The way you get new cars in this game is just finding them around the city. Once you find one, all you have to do is push X and you're ready to drive it. I found it odd that cars are just sitting around the city, especially in a game that has you driving real cars. I guess I was just expecting something a little more realistic. Not a problem, just unexpected. Oh yeah, the cars are all brand name. It was the same in the original game and I don't have a problem with it. I have no knowledge when it comes to cars, so if I see a new one and I don't have to crash to get it, I'm all on board to drive that Pro Shishi. The gamepad works as a controller. It isn't bad, but I wouldn't say it felt great. On the gamepad, you have the options to look at your map, turn traffic on or off, change between nighttime and daytime, respray your car, switch your car, and change the controller. Some interesting options here. A bit more convenient than the original.
Need for Speed Most Wanted U was an alright game. The races were okay, but the most fun I had with the game was driving around the open world and getting lost in police chases. And even that got old after a while. I never really got engaged with taking down the most wanted drivers, probably because there's no incentive for me. I still really prefer the original game. The main mission was fun, and so was the stuff on the side. With Most Wanted U, I just got lost in the stuff on the side. Bottom line, Need for Speed Most Wanted U gets an okay. Now I'm gonna do some street racing.